Procrastination is a progress killer ultimately. Don't disrespect your potential by procrastinating. Sitting down waiting to see if you are ready or not to do something or you can actually go for something. It's just you disrespecting your own potential that you know lays within inside of you. So you have to be willing to get up and just go for it and just trust that you are going to be guided along the way. Hey! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Fatima if you are new here. If you have been here, welcome back, little rock star. How are we doing today? So in today's video, I'm here with a Motivational Monday podcast. I decided to take my motivational speeches, quotes, words, and decided to turn it into a podcast here on my channel. So we can solely focus on the topic of discussion when it's time to talk about it. You feel me? So today we're going to talk about self-discipline and ways that we can implement it into our everyday lives as we please, you feel me? Because we are all here to win, you feel me? Be sure to stay to the end to hear all the advice I have today about self-discipline. Be sure to subscribe to become a little rock star. And without further ado, let's go rock on, little rock stars. So let's get into it, shall we? Grab you a drink, get you a notebook and a pen or a pencil, whatever you would like, because we finna get really into it and you don't want to miss any of these nice little notes you can have for reference. I will be looking down and up just to make sure I get everything that I've written down for you delivered. Okay, so let's first start off why having discipline is actually more effective than motivation itself. Your motivation should be your expectations you have set for yourself to succeed. If you could see yourself at the highest potential in any place, in any area that you are looking for success in, you have to know that it is already possible and it has already happened. And the thing is with that, is your self-motivation is very key to have that self-belief and that self-determination in order for you to get to the highest heights that you possibly can. Those visions that you're having are automatically going to come to pass as long as you have the discipline to do all the actions necessary to get through the brick by brick process to get to that point, you feel me? These are some quotes that I'm going to read off of my notebook that I have found that lit a fire under which maybe might do one for you too. Here we go. Are you ready to be stunned? The cost of procrastination is the dream life you could have already been living. When I seen this, I was like laying in bed, I think eating Pringles or something. I was not doing nothing. I seen that and I just immediately turned off my phone and just started doing stuff to be productive. The second quote I have is, procrastination is an arrogant assumption that God owes you another opportunity to do what you already had time to do. When I seen this, I was like, I cannot be wasting no more time because procrastination is a progress killer ultimately. So the more you sit down and wait to do things, the more you're just, waiting for the perfect timing when the time is already always in the now. It's always in the present. It's never later on because you gotta do everything to get to later on, My aunt once told me that time waits for no one. And she was right about that because it's I've always wanted to start certain things, but I never did because I was like, oh, I'll do it when this has already happened and this has taken place and I have time to do this and time this and time that. But the time is always in the now. You only have right now to focus on right now, what you can control, what you can be doing, what you can work with, because ultimately you already have everything that you need. Even if you need a certain amount of money or you need a certain amount of help to get certain places, it's already inside of you. It's not on the outside of you. Work with what you got and practice gratitude with what you got, because the more you focus on what you actually have, the more you attract into your life, the more you bring into what you actually need, and things just start to miraculously work out for you in all ways. Don't be fearful if it's the right or wrong way to do certain things, because all your decisions you make is just part of your story and your journey of how you actually got to where you are desiring to be. It does not matter if it's right or wrong, because it's in life you are always going to have a few setbacks or a few delays and a few lessons you actually got to learn, because that's all part of your purpose in your story for yourself, So it's you can't just sit down and be like, I only want to do it the right way and the correct way all the time, because I would sit down and do that all the time and realize I'm actually missing opportunities to grow and learn at the same time, even if it's not correct. And when you're moving with your pure intentions to do the right thing always, if you have to learn a lesson or two, just know that it's not the end of the world if something happens and it doesn't go to your plan, because everything is always working together for the greater good, even if it's like a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Do not get discouraged if you don't know which way to start. Just start, and you will learn along the ways of what you actually need to work on to move forward. That will help you also build more discipline with self-trust, because everything that you learn and you go through, you are learning how to think logically and then also open your heart at the same time. So it's like you're not just moving around and like doing this and doing that just to guess the right answer, you feel me? So don't be afraid to do anything that is outside of your comfort zone, because we about to get into that. Deep down inside, you already actually know what you're supposed to be doing. So with you already knowing what you're supposed to be doing, just go for it. Don't wait for people to give you the approval or the validation, because this is the hard pill to swallow. Nobody is coming to save you. I used to be really codependent on certain people, places, and things, being like, well, this will just come through for me. Nah, baby. You have to get up. You must and you will get up. I know you will get up from whatever you feel like you need another thing to uplift you. You will get up. If you really want it that bad, because you got the drive and the determination and the ambition to get up and go for it, no matter who says what and who's telling you what, you will go get it. Don't disrespect your potential by procrastinating. Sitting down waiting to see if you are ready or not to do something, or you can actually go for something, it's just you disrespecting your own potential that you know lays within inside of you. So you have to be willing to get up and just go for it, and just trust that you are going to be guided along the ways. And if there are delays or setbacks, just take those as learning lessons. Don't take it and internalize them for mistakes that you have made and like beat yourself down about it, because there's always opportunity to learn and grow and keep going from that. You're never going to be in the same place where your story starts. Just remember that, because I know sometimes when we like look at things on the outside, we don't know when things are about to happen and we feel like it's just been such a long time. Don't judge what it looks like at first, because what it starts off as is really always going to end differently. So let's get into more detailed advice for self-discipline. Some of this is from experience that I have learned just over the course of like life, and just like learning how to be more disciplined with myself to do more things. Let's go ahead and get into it. So my first thing is you have to be willingly uncomfortable to get what you actually want. Nothing actually ever comes from your comfort zones. Nothing ever comes from something you once knew. You always have to change the way you approach things to get a different outcome. You can never be the same exact version of you wanting something bigger and better. You know what I'm saying? Just know that you are enough just as the way you are, but when you implement more high vibrational habits within your daily routines and like your approach to certain things, just know that you are now being in that frequency of being able to attract those very desires that you're actually working towards achieving. An example I wrote down, like say you're trying to wake up earlier so you can have an earlier start to your day. You try to wake up at 5 a.m. versus like 10 a.m. When you first start doing new things that are out of your normal and out of like even your friends' normals or your family's normals, give yourself credit for trying. And also remind yourself why you are doing those things, because sometimes it can be discouraging when you feel like you're doing a bunch of stuff and nothing has happened yet. But keep reminding yourself what it's going to give you, what it's going to bring you, where you're going to be at, because you stuck with it and just kept going. So if you make simple changes like that, just remind yourself why you did. And remind yourself the whole time when you feel like going back to your old habits that kept you safe and comfortable with where you used to be at. Remind yourself, I'm doing this because this. I'm doing this because I want this. I'm doing this for this. You know what I'm saying? My second thing is start saying no to everything that does not align with what you're looking for. If you used to be a people pleaser, because I know what that is like. I used to say yes to everything to make people feel comfortable, to keep people around me, to, almost like when you say yes, you are allowing certain cycles to repeat in your life without even realizing it. Because if you're looking for a change and you keep saying yes to the same things that you are constantly used to normally doing, you are always going to be repeating certain things. And then that's why we be like, well, why is this still happening? And I've been praying for this, I've been manifesting for this, but it's like, you're doing the same things. You haven't changed. No's will keep you away from distractions and delays to your progression that you are making. Let's just say, for example, you're trying to run up a bag, you're trying to save it, and you and your friends normally go out like every weekend, and y'all went out like the last 2 weekends, and you was swiping that cash, you was swiping that card, you feel me? So, but you now trying to save it because you want to invest in stuff, you want to save up for stuff, right? The best way to do is start saying no to the small things. Like, that's kind of considered like a smaller thing. Like, you don't have to actually go out because it's like you going out to eat food that you got at home. Pretty self-explanatory. So it's like every time you say no to going out when you actually don't even really want to go out, you saving extra money. So now you could put that into your investments, you could put that into your savings, so far and so forth. You're gonna thank your bank account later when you start saying no. My third thing is to change your habits. Most of the procrastination stems from the habits that we are already accustomed to, that which actually hinders us from forward progression in life. You're not going to be able to carry the same habits of what you used to do to your next season of life. Seasons are always changing, and with every season, feelings change, habits can change, interests can change. So basically, if you want to have a more balanced life within yourself and like the life around you, for example, let's say like at night, you at like 10 p.m. you're normally scrolling till like 3 a.m. and then you go to sleep at 5 a.m. but you want to get up at like 8 a.m. See, now that is very possible because I used to do stuff like that. But if you really trying to like keep a real good balance within yourself so you're not actually drained, because whether we think about it or not, we are so used to blaming other things and people outside of us, but not even realizing like we could take accountability for our own little bad habits that we be having from time to time, you feel me? So changing your habits will also help you change your approach into how you're trying to go about things, and you won't be doing the same exact things and getting the same exact outcome. You ultimately have to become a higher version of yourself to reach a higher level of success, to reach a higher level of growth. And to reach a higher level of elevation, you ultimately have to get rid of all the negative and toxic behaviors that we all can carry from time to time. A fourth thing would to be change your belief system about yourself and change your belief system about life. Change your perspective from what you already know or what you used to know. Start believing in the impossible things to happen. Start believing in good things to happen, even if it doesn't look super good. And life will show you the complete opposite than what you're actually envisioning in your mind to test you to see if you really mean business. If you really mean what you say you're gonna do, if you really mean what you really about to have in life, it's gonna show you complete opposite. It's gonna show you, life's just gonna start throwing it at you, okay? Don't get offended and don't give up because life be testing it like that, I know. And also, don't allow other people's projections and insecurities about what you're trying to do in life because they never done it really before in their lives. Don't allow that to affect how you move and how you're going about your business. And don't allow their own lack of self-belief and faith to tear you into a different direction. Don't internalize everyone else's burdens, because when you keep internalizing that stuff, it's ultimately going to interfere with your vision. And then on top of that, it's also giving you more burdens to carry that aren't even your own. Don't internalize everything that is going on. Don't internalize if life is showing you opposite. It's just a test to see if you really mean what you say you want. And don't allow other people's projections and negative belief systems and all that stuff get in the way of like what you actually purely are going for. I know that can get tough at times because it can be people that you really care about dearly, but they just don't fully understand. And it's not for us to judge that they don't understand, but one day you will become the example of what it's like to achieve and do the impossible. That be something that they've never seen before, but because you will be living proof, that will restore their faith once more. So think about it as you're not only just doing it for you, but you're doing it for a whole collective of people around you. And my last thing, number 5, that we're gonna go over today is create a balance for yourself. Sometimes we can get really caught up with chasing and grinding and hustling and bustling and all that stuff. At least sometimes I do that a lot. Like I'll get really caught up in stuff like that to where it's like we don't give ourselves the time to really just sit down and relax and actually celebrate ourselves and celebrate our own accomplishments that we made. You don't need a whole crowd of people to applaud you, to cheer you on, especially when you come in from the bottom and all the way up to the top. Don't get discouraged if nobody is noticing your changes, giving you compliments about your changes, and accepting your changes, because I know that you can be doing the most difficult things, going through your own silent battles, and nobody really knows. You're really doing it, you really getting it. Just acknowledge yourself and celebrate yourself, because that is a practice of self-love, and you will need self-love throughout this whole journey. So go really hard for about 5 to 6 days of consistent and persistent pressure. And remember that it is still acceptable to take breaks and to relax when it's very needed, because you need the rest, you need to relax, and you need the closure from yourself to acknowledge your accomplishments and achievements with just developing better self-discipline, because self-discipline is actually a form of self-love itself too. You're willing to put yourself in uncomfortable positions now so that later you will not have to be uncomfortable ever again. You can actually live more comfortably and more satisfied that you put in all that work, because it's really gonna pay off, you feel me? And your self-discipline will ultimately become a natural nature once you start practicing it more, to where it's like you're not really thinking about it like consciously, you're just consciously doing it, and it develops better habits for you, around you, and things just start to flow a little bit more, you know? So take as many breaks as needed though. You can let go for a minute, but don't forget to come back to it, because you're not done. And the scripture I wanted to use today to end off this video is Galatians 6:9. And let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. So don't give up, because you will eat the fruits of your labor. And that is all I have to say for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this video today, and I hope that there is something you can implement into your life that will help you have better self-discipline with yourself. So don't forget to rock on, little rock stars. I love you, and I will see you soon.